Hi, welcome back to yoga. For your practice today, if you have yoga blocks, they always come in real handy. Also, having a yoga strap helps to make your arms a little bit longer. So once you gather them, take a moment to sit well on your yoga mat. Take a nice full big breath in. And as you exhale, let it go. Release all the breath out. So our yoga practice, when we think of yoga, we think primarily of the poses. But the difference with the yoga and a lot of the other things we do is it's really breath-based. And if you think of the breath as like a string, in yoga, malas, necklaces or bracelets are used, and it's 108 beads on a string. And it helps with meditation, it helps with chanting. So if you imagine that the breath is like the string of a mala, then the asanas, the poses, are like the beads. So the breath is what links and holds everything together. So as long as you're breathing, you're doing yoga, and the breath is always that indicator of whether or not maybe you're in a pose a little bit too deeply, or maybe you're forcing the pose a little. We want to create a lot of ease as we practice. So there's challenges, but we don't want to focus on kind of muscling our way through. So right now, let's take a moment just to connect to the breath. So let your hands rest on your thighs or your knees. Sit nice and tall. You're going to feel your heart press a little forward, elbows hug a little in towards your sides. And then just close your eyes. And notice the flow of your breath. And then as you begin to become more aware of your breath, have that sense that you're lengthening the breath as it moves into your body. So you're taking a deeper breath in. And then when you exhale, it's that complete breath all the way out. And then the next time you inhale, draw the breath in deep, but also have a sense that your breath is widening as it moves through your body. So it's like you're expanding your rib cage outwards to the sides, drawing the breath deep down into your pelvis. And that's your yoga breathing, full body breathing. And then typically the breath, the pranayama. Pranayama is the word in Sanskrit for breath. Breath is prana. Ayama means to extend or stretch the breath. So the pranayamas we do are really good at bringing us into the present moment. When you're focusing on your breath, you're not being pulled, forward or back. You're just focused right here in the present. So close your eyes. Take some breaths. The pranayama that we do through our yoga practice is called Ujjayi breath. And it's breath with sound. As you inhale and exhale, you draw the breath in through your nostrils. But as you breathe it in, there's almost a slight hugging in at your throat. And your breath's going to take on a more nourishing, resonant sound. And hearing the sound of your breath is going to remind you to breathe. So see if you can find that right now. And once you move into that rhythm, take a moment to just check in with yourself on a physical level from the top of your head all the way down to the tips of your toes. Notice any areas that maybe feel a little tight or stuck, and those might be the areas that you want to focus on for your practice today. All right, bring your palms together at your heart. Take a moment just to bow your head. Let your practice be an exploration today. Be a little curious on your mat. And then as you inhale, let's reach up overhead. Exhale, press your palms all the way down to the mat. And then once they land, lean a little back so you can change out the cross of your legs. And then come back to that tall lifted spine, fingertips down. All right, on your inhale, let's reach the right arm up. Walk the left hand away and then take a nice stretch. And then create a little softness through your neck by letting your gaze look down towards your left hand. Take a couple of breaths here. So the inhale, we're going to press down a little bit more firmly through our right hip. Lengthen a little bit more through our fingertips. Create lots of them. Soften a little as you exhale. The next inhale is going to draw us all the way back up. And then we're going to take the right hand, bring it behind us. Cross your left hand over to your right knee. Once again, sit tall, and then we're going to twist. Twisting to the right. You can stay looking over your right shoulder, or turn your gaze and look over your left shoulder. And see if you can lean a little back. All right. Inhale tall, and we'll exhale, come back to center. Roll out your shoulders. And then let's take that to the other side. So fingertips down, right hand stays where it is. And we're going to inhale, lift the left, walk the right hand away. Use that to press down firmly. And then lengthening. As you inhale from your left hip, all the way through your side body, shoulder, arm, to your fingertips. As you exhale, let your gaze look softly down towards your right hand. And just play with that sense of lengthening, creating more space in your body. Nice. We're going to come back up on an inhale. Exhale the left hand down and behind us. Cross the right hand to the left knee. Inhale here. And then exhale, twisting to the left. With the option to stay here. Or turn your gaze to look over your right shoulder. And take a couple of breaths there. Inhale, let's reach both arms up and take a nice big full stretch. As you exhale, bend into your elbows, lift your heart. And then you're going to take your hands, reach them behind you, clasp them, and then stay here either with bent elbows, hands resting on your low back, or create a little bit more opening through your front body by reaching your knuckles away and perhaps even lifting your hands. And then you could stay here or let your left ear drop to your left shoulder. And then inhale back up. And right ear to your right shoulder. All right, and then you're going to gently come back to center. Good job. Release your arms. And then roll everything out. Okay, from seated, let's come on to hands and knees. So bring yourself on all fours, facing the top of your mat. If you've got blocks, you can bring them to either side at the top. Spread your fingers nice and wide, and then bring the tops of your feet down onto the mat. Press into the tops of your feet, and you're going to feel a little lift in your low belly. And that's creating a little core strength. We want that core strength to kind of keep us stable and strong as we practice. And then let's flow on our breath. So as we inhale, we're going to drop our belly, lift our gaze, press into our hands. Keep pressing as you exhale and round. So just a little warming up for the spine. Inhaling and exhaling. Nice, a couple more times. Inhale, exhale. Nice, and then the next time you inhale, come back to a long neutral spine. Tuck your toes underneath you, and then walk your hands a little bit forward. Inhale, press your shoulders over your wrists, and then root down through the balls of your feet so you can inhale, lift your knees just an inch or two up off the mat. So now we're really accessing a little bit more strength at the core. Stay here or press into your left foot. Lift your right foot up off the mat. So then we're going to lower the right foot, press into that, and maybe lift the left foot up off the mat. Beautiful. Then lower the left foot down. Inhale, press all the way up to downward dog. So this is our first one. It's going to feel nice to just bend into one knee and then the other. Just walk it out. Do that a couple more times. And then come back to center and lift your heels as high as you can. Feel like you're pressing your front of your torso back towards the front of your thighs. Press firmly down through both hands. And then with your heels lifted, you're going to lower both knees to the mat like you could spring forward. That's going to create lots of length through your back, your arms. Keep all of that as you inhale, lift all the way back up. And then exhale, melt your heels back towards the mat. Take a breath. All right. And on the next exhale, lower your knees down And come to child's pose. Rest your head on your hands and take some rest. So every time we come to rest, it's a really good time to come back to that awareness of the breath. All right, and then bring your hands down to the mat again. Come back to all fours. We're going to turn the right palm down on the mat with the fingers facing back towards you. And then maybe just rock your hips a little from side to side. All right, and then release that hand out. And then we'll do the same with the left hand. So you're going to turn your fingers back towards you, press down into your palm. And then maybe let your hips just rest or rock them a little from side to side, maybe even a little front and back. So you're just getting a stretch for the front of your wrist. And then shake that out. All right, and then coming back to hands and knees. Tuck your toes underneath you. Inhale, lift yourself up and back, downward facing dog. And take some rest. Awesome. At the end of your exhale, look forward. Walk your feet towards your hands so you can walk yourself into a soft forward fold. Keep your knees as bent as they need to be. Take your hands and lace them, and then just bring them behind the back of your head. And then press your head a little bit more into your hands, feel your elbows lift, and lift halfway up. So legs are feeling strong, all four corners of both feet connected to the earth. Exhale, fold. We're going to come up to standing, so press the back of your head into your hands. Lift all the way up. Once you come to standing, release your arms down by your sides, and we'll come into Tadasana. So Tadasana is a strong rooting down through your feet, your legs, and with that strength in your lower body, create a little openness and softness in your upper body. So feel your heart lift, shoulders broaden, hands rest by your sides, and your fingertips are reaching to the earth as you lift the crown of your head towards the sky. Take some breaths here, come back to the breath, always coming back to the prana, the breath, which is so closely linked to our life force energy. So imagine that the deeper, fully you breathe, the more energy, the more vitality you're bringing to your body. Alrighty, take another full breath here. And then you're going to open your eyes, reach your arms up overhead, clasp your hands and reach your index fingers up towards the sky. As you exhale, reach and stretch to the right. So a nice side stretch for our left side body. And once again, let your gaze look down. Nice. Inhale, come all the way up. And then we'll exhale over to the left. So press firmly into both feet. Lengthen out through your fingertips. Soften your gaze. Beautiful. Inhale, reach all the way up. And then reach your hands down. This is where you might like a strap, or you're going to reach back and clasp your hands behind your back. Perhaps walk your feet a little wider. So we're going to take a forward fold here. So inhale, lift your heart, lift your gaze, reach your knuckles away. And as you exhale, you're going to come all the way forward, reach your arms up overhead. And if that doesn't feel comfortable, you don't get that freedom of lifting your arms up overhead, that's where you're going to take a strap or anything that you can use to create a little space between your hands so that when you come into your fold, your arms are going to lift freely and then maybe just rock a little from side to side. All right, take another breath here. And then the inhale is going to lift you back up once again. Release your hands, release your strap, roll out your shoulders. Okay, take a breath. All right, on your inhale, one more time, reach your arms up overhead, find that steeple mudra. Bring your right toes off to the right. And then exhale, reach and stretch to the right. So we have the option of staying here, or those right toes that are on the mat, maybe you'll lift them away from the mat so you create a little balance. Beautiful. Take another inhale breath here. Release on the exhale, but cross the right foot over or behind the left, and then lift and lengthen. And then let's exhale, take a stretch over to the left. All right, inhale, reach up. Release your hands. Release your foot. Take a breath. All right, inhale, reach up. This time, left toes to the left. And then we're going to exhale, reach to the left. So balancing, looking down always helps with balance. So find maybe a little mark on the floor. Stay here, or you're going to lift your left toes up off the mat. Keep lifting and reaching up through your fingertips. And then when you release, you're going to lift your hands, take your left foot, cross it behind your right. Press into both feet and then exhale, reach and stretch over to the right. Press your left hip away. Awesome, take another breath. Beautiful, come up to center. Release your arms. Release your foot. And take a breath. Awesome. On your inhale, reach and stretch. On your exhale, forward fold. Bring your hands to your shins, lift halfway up. Exhale, lower your hands down. Step your left foot to the back of your mat. And then you're going to lower your left knee down. So Anjaneyasana, this is kind of the prep for the splits. So you're going to come into a runner's lunge. Press your hips forward so you get a stretch through the front of your left leg. And then take a couple of breaths here. So this is where if you have blocks, they come in pretty handy for your hands to rest in. You're going to walk your hands back and then stretch out through your right leg. And then maybe we'll do a little back and forth thing using your breath. So we're always anchoring through the breath. So we're going to exhale back, inhale back to the lunge. And this kind of movement is starting to create that opening in our hips. All right, let's take one more of these. And then we'll hold the straight leg. Press down through your right heel. Last option is to forward fold over. Alrighty, and then let's come back to center. Walk your hands to the inside of your right foot. And then we're going to turn to face the long side of our mat. So if it's okay for your knee, you're going to sit down low. Otherwise, you can stay a little lifted. And then we're going to press down through the left foot and maybe lift our hands. Last option would be to spin your left toes. Whoops. It's wobbling. Spin your left toes up towards the sky. All right, so to release, bring your hands down, walk yourself along and come to the other side of the mat. Spin yourself around and lower your back knee. So now we're in a lunge on the other side, opposite leg in front. Inhale here. As you exhale, we're going to press back and straighten out the left leg. And then just moving on the breath. So inhale forward, exhale back, allowing the movement to create the opening. Alrighty. Couple more times. And then the next time we press it back, we're going to hold. And then whatever feels good for you, if you're getting enough opening here, that's good. If you want a little bit more, maybe forward fold. But always breathing, always using the breath. All right, and then when we walk it back to the lunge, both hands are going to come to the inside of the left foot. And then we're going to walk forward, come back to the long side of the mat. And then we can play with that balance here. So maybe the toes lifted, maybe the foot's down, which is going to give you a little bit more stability. And then maybe find your balance just for a couple of breaths. Nice. Walk your hands down, walk them to center, and then come up to a wide-legged forward fold. With your hands on the mat, you're going to come all the way down, lengthen the crown of your head towards the mat. Maybe walk your fingertips behind you and take a couple of breaths. And then bring your hands back underneath you. Inhale, come halfway up. Strong legs, you're gonna come all the way up to standing. And then reach your arms up overhead. Nice. Beautiful. Lower your hands down. Heel toe your feet a little closer together. And then turn your toes out and toes out, heels in. Nice. We're gonna inhale, reach up. And then as we exhale, we're going to bend into our elbows and bend into our knees. Inhale, lift. On the breath, exhale, lowers us. So keep your spine nice and straight. Inhale, lifts us. 3 more times. So keep pressing your feet, lengthening your tailbone down, lifting the crown of your head up. Nice. This time we're going to lower and hold, and then maybe we'll lift the right heel. Nice. Lower that down. Maybe we'll lift the left heel. Nice. Lower that down. The challenge here would be to lift both heels and maybe sit a little deeper. Beautiful. And then lower your heels. Awesome. Lift all the way up. Hands to your sides. Roll out your shoulders. Nice. Heel toe your feet together. Come back to mountain pose. Take some breaths. All right. Step back to the top of your mat. All right. On your inhale, you're going to reach your arms up overhead. Root down through your right foot as you lift your left heel. And then lift your left foot. All right, so finding balance here. And then we're going to step it back to warrior 2. So we can step it straight back, or we've been playing a little with balance. So maybe hovering in a warrior 3. And then you're going to lower your foot back. And we'll windmill our arms up and open. So we're facing alongside of our mat again. All right, let your gaze look along the middle finger of your right hand. Reach your fingertips away from each other. Sit into the pose, so let your hips get heavy. Beautiful. And then you're going to reach a little forward. Flip your right palm up. Inhale to a reverse warrior, but lift your left hand, drift forward. So right hand lifts, left hand's reaching out like you're handing something to somebody. Let's take another breath, maybe sit just a little deeper. Start to feel how strong your legs are becoming. Okay. Maybe you're enjoying that, maybe not. Alrighty, and then we're going to sweep it back to warrior 2. Straighten into the front leg. Reach forward and down. So Utthita Trikonasana, this is triangle pose. So your feet at the base of your triangle, your lifted left fingertips at the apex, the tip. Take some breaths. Awesome. All right, and then gently bend into your knee. Awesome, come back to center. And then we're going to windmill our hands down. Coming back to your lunge, look forward, step to the top of your mat. Inhale halfway, and exhale forward. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. Bring your hands to your heart. All right, take a couple of breaths here. We'll take that to the other side. So now we're going to stand firmly down into our left foot. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. find balance here. And then once you're steady, lift your right leg, bend your right knee. So stepping it back to warrior two, see how slowly you can go. And see if you can keep that consistent breath as you're moving through the practice. And then as you're ready, you're going to step it back and open up warrior two. All right, so settle into the pose here. Take some nice full breaths. Press firmly into both feet. Nice, and then you're going to turn your left palm up, lean a little forward. Inhale, lift to reverse your warrior, and the right arm's going to reach forward. Lengthen out through the fingertips, press into both feet. Take some more breaths here. And the next time you exhale, bring your arms back to warrior two. Straighten into your left leg as you reach your way in down, finding triangle on this side. Good. Nice full deep breaths. It's always about the breathing. The breathing is the connection to our life force. All right, we don't want to cut that off. We're going to come back to warrior two on the inhale. Exhale, bring your hands down. Lift your back heel coming into a high runner's lunge. And then step to the top of your mat. Inhale halfway and exhale lower. Inhale lifting. Exhale your hands back to your heart. Okay, come back to balance. So stand well into Tadasana on your mat. Alrighty, so if you know that balance is feeling a little off today, you could step back and have a wall close by. Otherwise, you're going to come into Tadasana, root down through your right leg, lift your left heel. Then we're going to lift the left leg, left knee. Keep your right hand on your hip, take your left hand to your left knee, stand nice and tall. And then we're going to open the bent knee out to the side. Then your right hand could stay there or you could lift it up overhead. So it's always a little harder to breathe when we're balancing. Alrighty, but bring your hands back to your hip. Draw your left knee back to center and hold. Take your left hand to your left hip, right hand to your right knee. Now we're going to turn into a twist. So stand tall. You're going to start to twist your body to the left. And then maybe reach the left arm back. And maybe shift your gaze so you look back towards your left arm. It's shifting the gaze that makes the balance more challenging. Nice. Inhale, come back to center. Take both hands, lace them under the left leg. Stand tall. And then extend your leg out. Very good. Bend the knee, lower the foot, shake out your legs. Right leg's feeling pretty strong now with that balancing. Alrighty, so we're going to root down through the left leg, lift the right heel. Alright, hands on your hips. Lift the right knee. Take your right hand to the right knee. Hold it there for support. Keep your right foot flexed, so you don't want it just that foot dangling. And then we're going to open the right knee out to the right. Stay here, we'll reach the left arm up. Guys are doing great. All right, don't forget to breathe. And then left hand to your left hip. Right knee comes back to center. Right hand to your hip. Left hand to your knee. Lengthen and then twist to the right. And maybe reach the right arm back and follow that with your gaze. Alrighty, we're going to come back to center. Take our hands to support under the right thigh. Stand nice and tall, extend your leg out. Bend into your knee. Also lower your foot. Take a big breath. Shake out your legs. Close your eyes. Inhale, reach and lift. Exhale, come to a forward fold, Uttanasana. Take a couple of breaths here, so you might get a little bit closer to the earth. All right. From here, you're going to bring your hands down to the mat, facing the top of your mat, the short side. Walk your feet back, come to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, shift your weight forward so you're in a high plank. All right, lengthen your tailbone away, squeeze your pubic bone a little bit up towards your ribs. Inhale back, down dog. Exhale, high plank. Hold here for a couple of breaths. Really press the earth away with your hands. Inhale back, down dog. We'll do that one more time. Hold your high plank. Press into your fingertips. You could stay here or lift the right leg. Lower that. And lift the left leg. Lower that. Press back to down dog. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, lower your knees. Come back to child. All right, take a couple of breaths. In this child's pose, make some circles with your wrists and just create a little release. Okay. And then we're going to come back to downward facing dog. So with an option to come into an arm balance. So in your down dog, walk your feet nice and wide. Walk your hands back to your feet. And then you're going to bend into your knees. Any amount, come down to Malasana, squat pose. So remember at the beginning of class, we talked about the necklace, the mala, and the breath is the string and the poses are the beads on the mala. This pose is Malasana. So it's the lotus pose, it's garland pose. It's like a garland, a necklace. Not quite sure why, but that's what it's called. So we're squeezing our arms back into our legs, squeezing our legs onto our arms. If you can't get your heels all the way down, turn your toes out, come a little wider. You might even take something and slide it under your heels for support. So it's holding here, coming out anytime you're ready, or we'll come into crow pose. It's an arm balance. So hands down, walk your feet in behind your wrists, bring your whole hand down onto the mat. Lift your heels, hug your knees into the backs of your arms. So the trick here is to shift your weight forward and also shift your gaze forward. So you want to look forward and not down. And then squeeze everything in. And as you lean forward, one foot gets light and maybe swap it out for the other, or maybe lift both feet. Trying to hug your heels up toward your buttocks. Yes. And then landing down, back to where we started, Malasana, our garland pose. Alrighty, bring your hands down, walk them forward. Come back to stretch everything out in down dog. And then lower your knees down. All right, we're going to come all the way down to rest on our tummies with our forearms on the mat. Okay, so this is Sphinx pose. Hug your elbows back towards you. Press into the tops of your feet and then press your heart forward. Lift your gaze. As you press into the tops of your feet, your knees are going to lift a little bit off the mat. Take another breath here. Right. And then we'll soften down. Take a breath. We're going to come back to that pose and add on. So you're going to bring your hands down to the mat, come back to your forearms, and then slide your left leg out to the side. At the inner edge of your foot on the mat, gaze looks forward, so everything's at right angles. Your knees coming out from your hip, ankles right behind your knee. You could stay here or press into your hands. Lift your elbows and get a little bit of a deeper back bend. Don't forget the breath is the indicator of how the pose is going. Lower your elbows. Slide your left foot in. We'll come right into the other side. So right knee's going to come out to the side. Press into the top of the left foot, hold here. Or press into your hands, maybe lift your elbows. Gaze is looking straight ahead, and you don't want to be squeezing your shoulders up to your ears. So lengthen your shoulders away. Press into your hands. Awesome. Lower back down to your elbows. Bring your right leg back in. Press your head to one side, take it back. Okay, last option, we'll come back up onto forearms. Slide your right arm across your mat. Bend into your left leg. So you could stay here, or you're going to reach back, find your left foot, reach for the inside edge, and then roll your belly back down. And then any amount, hug your foot in towards your buttocks. You might even spin your fingers over your toes. All right, do that side, and then we'll come into the other side. So release gently. Left forearm across the top of your mat. Right leg bends. Reach back, find your foot. Hug your heel in towards you. So this is getting a little stretch through your quads. Release. Lower your hands under your shoulders for cobra pose. Squeeze your elbows together. And then lift and lengthen. Lots of length through the sides, back of your neck. Softness in the front of your throat. All right, as you exhale, lower down. Take a breath. Come back either to cobra or slide your hands a little bit more down to your low ribs. Inhale, lift yourself up and maybe come to an up dog. So in up dog, you just have the tops of your feet, hands on your mat. We're going to press it back to down dog, so you can tuck your toes, or you can roll over the tops of your feet. Take a nice stretch, downward facing dog. All right. And then lower your knees down to the mat. So this next pose is a big opener, hip opener. It's frog pose. You could take your mat and double it over. If you have a blanket, you can place that down just for a little protection for your inner knees. If you have knee issues, you may want to do one side at a time. But frog pose is you're going to come to kneeling and bring your knees nice and wide. And then your feet, inside edges of your feet are on the mat. Slide your knees as wide as feels good. You could use blocks to support under your ribs, under your forehead, but you're going to come down maybe onto your elbows and take some rest here. If it hurts your knees, if it hurts your feet, come out of the pose and maybe do the right leg and then the left leg. But I'm going to turn to the side so you can see a little bit more clearly. If it feels good to deepen, you can widen your knees, and then you can even bring a little forward and backward motion. You might be open enough here that you can rest your torso, your forehead down on the mat. Okay, so we'll hold here for a couple more breaths. And then to come out, you're going to use your strong hands, so bring your hands underneath you. Press up, slide your knees back in. Come to child's pose. So your knees could be wide in child's pose or knees together. Round yourself over and reach back for your hips. Alrighty. Coming back to the breath. Child's pose is always where we tune back into the breath. A little moment to notice what's happening in the body. All right. Close your eyes. And then from child's pose, you're going to make your way down onto your mat so you can lay on your back. Hug both knees in. Take your hands to your knees and just rock gently from side to side. Keep both feet flexed. All right, so we're going to come back to that hip opener that we did standing. You remember we had the knee, we opened it out to the side, brought it back up, and came to a twist. So you have the option to stay with the bent leg version, or if you have your strap, you can do the straight leg version. If you're pretty flexible through the hamstrings, you could use your first two fingers and thumb to kind of hook your big toe. So find what feels comfortable for you. We're going to inhale, extend the right leg up. And then as you exhale, open it out to the right. That's going to make your left side body lift. You want to keep that rooted. And then extend out, maybe turn your gaze so you're looking over your left shoulder. Beautiful. Take another breath here. We're going to inhale it all the way back up. And then you'll change out either the hand or the strap to the other leg. I'm going to open to the right leg. So it's left hand to right foot, or feels great with a strap. We're going to come over to a twist. And then maybe turn your gaze to look over your right shoulder. So this is giving you a stretch through your outer right hip. You could even take your right hand and just press the top of your thigh bone and away so that you can create a little bit more space. It's a nice stretch for the low back. All right, let's inhale back up. Release the strap and release your foot and lower it down. Alrighty, coming into the other side. So first two fingers and thumb, you could have the bent knee version with your hand on your knee. Use your strap or use your hand. Inhale here. Exhale, open the left leg out to the left. Keeping the right side anchored down to the mat. Lengthen out through your left heel, relax through your shoulders, relax your jaw. We'll inhale it back up. We'll exhale over to the twist. And take a few breaths there. All right, the inhale brings us all the way back up. Exhale, lower that foot down. So reach down through your legs, reach up through your fingertips, take a nice big stretch. And then lower your hands down, bend into both knees. If you've got a block, a supported bridge, might feel nice. Otherwise, you're going to press into the backs of your arms, your feet. You're going to lift your hips, lengthen your tailbone away and come into bridge pose. You could take your hands and clasp them underneath you. Walk your shoulders a little bit closer together. Take a breath. All right, and then winding down, lift your heels, release your hands if they're clasped. Exhale, soften back to the mat. Take your hands to your knees and just gently hug them in, rock from side to side. And then heading into Shavasana, so extend through your legs. Take one hand to the center of your rib cage, one hand to your low belly. Close your eyes and take some breaths. Feel the breath moving under your hands, so you're breathing deep into your low belly. As you exhale, allow your body to start softening and relaxing. Inhale deep. Exhale completely. Take a few more breaths like this. Allow your body to settle. You might even rock a little bit from side to side. And then as you're ready, let your hands come back to the mat. Close your eyes. Move into Shavasana. This is where we just focus on a soft breath. We let go of the Ujjayi breathing. And we just allow all that energy that we've created through our practice to start to work its way deeper into our body. So just allowing yourself to be open, receptive, relaxed. We'll be in Shavasana for a couple of minutes. Begin to draw in a deeper, longer breath. And there's no hurry to come out of Shavasana. You could stay here for a few minutes longer if you're nice and relaxed. But if you're ready to come out, you'll start to bend back into one knee and then the other. Make some circles with your wrists, wiggle your fingers, your toes. Maybe even create a nice stretch. All right, and then as you're ready, roll yourself gently over to your right side. Close your eyes, curl up into a ball. Take some breaths. It's a good time to check in, just notice how your body feels, how the quality of your breath feels. How you feel emotionally, mentally. And then as you're ready, bring yourself back up to your comfortable seat, Sukhasana. Hands on your thighs or your knees. Just like we did at the beginning of class. Settling into your hips, lifting, lengthening from there, noticing your breath. Breath is a gift that brings us into the present moment. We're constantly pulled forward by desires. We're pulled back by memories, regrets, evaluating the past, planning the future. But life is really only here in the present moment. These fleeting little moments. But you link them all together like the beads on a string, a mala. And it brings us the minutes, the hours, the days, the months of our life. Bring your palms together at your heart center. Bow your head to your heart. And just be grateful for showing up, doing your practice. And then on your inhale, we're going to lift our gaze, softly open your eyes. Well done, guys.